twisting in the wind, twisting in the wind.
Jerry Holkins, someone who I've quoted before on this, in fact, said that the answer is always more art, which means that the answer is never less art. Now, I wanted to share with you two examples of this that I recently found. A pretty recent game called Spec Ops: The Line, and a movie which is somewhat less recent, came out a few months ago, but I saw it just yesterday, so to me it's recent. Spec Ops: The Line is a game that I enjoyed a lot, and it's a modern day military shooter in which you, as an American soldier, infiltrate Dubai and try to fix the problems there. Now, that's a very standard cliche plot, and the thing about that is that the game seems to know it. In fact, it's very obvious that the game knows that that is true, and without spoiling it, it doesn't entirely seem to agree that that is a good thing, or that those shooters are good things. And it's very explicit in kind of that the fact that the creators of the game didn't really want to make those games anymore, but they had to because those games sell very well. There's a very good example of the statement that the answer is never less art. These people were fed up with the idea of a modern military shooter because those shooters are dumb, and I agree with them. And they were fed up with those things, but they didn't stop making them, because not making that game would have done nothing to say, that would have said nothing about any modern military shooter. It wouldn't have made people think about modern military shooters. But making this game and making it kind of, it is a modern military shooter, but it's kind of subversive, and by being that, it tries to tell you something about what those things are. And actually making that game has said to me a lot about what the reality of those situations are, and has said to the industry a lot about what those shooters should try to be, and what they are at the moment. And that's all a bit vague, probably, but it's the best I can explain it without spoiling it. So, the other example is Cabin in the Woods, which is a horror movie, in fact a slasher horror movie, a pretty cliche example. 5 people go into go to a cabin in the woods over the weekend, and there's a creepy guy at a gas station who tries to kind of stop them from going there, and they go there and they're in a closed circle and they can't escape, and then something tries to kill them, and it's very cliche, and it's not quite from the start, but it becomes, again, I can't spoil this, but it becomes very obvious that the writers of this game, Josh Whedon and Drew Goddard, didn't, I said game, I'm sorry, I meant movie. The writers of the movie didn't want to write another cliche horror film, and that becomes very, very obvious. But they did, instead of not writing another horror movie like they wanted to, they actually wrote another horror movie, but in that horror movie they put why they don't want to do these movies anymore, but kind of have to because they sell really well. Without spoiling it, without spoiling either of these two, I just wanted to say, if you think that these modern shooter games are kind of dumb, play Spec Ops The Line. It looks like exactly what you don't want to play right now, but it is exactly what you want to play right now. And if you don't like horror slasher films, but you know, you're kind of like, why are they still coming out? I mean, I thought it was dumb the first time. Watch The Cabin in the Woods, because it looks exactly like a horror slasher movie, but it is exactly the opposite, and it completely agrees with you. And if you enjoy these genres at all, watch and play them anyway, because these are great games, and this is a great game and a great movie.